Hello everyone, KobaltKai here. Welcome back to my development log of Kaiju Chronicles. This is just an update video to show you what I've been working on and how far I am so far. Thanks to all of you guys' support, and I really appreciate it. So if you guys have anything you'd like to recommend for this game, please leave it in the comments down below or on any of my current links to Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, or for Affinity. I do love when you guys give feedback because it tells me exactly what you want to see and it lets me know what to work on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So that was the pre-game loading screen that I am going to definitely change before official release. I don't really know when exactly that's going to be, but I just wanted to show you guys the progress that I've made so far thanks to your support. So, I am currently planning to have 5 sections in the main menu that will very likely also be changed, as well as the menu to it. And I would also like to show you guys the first level. So, Kaiju Chronicles, if I didn't explain already, is a game where instead of playing as the typical hero in the game, you will be playing as the monster instead, and you get the monster's perspective. So it's a fun spin on things that I want to use to change things up. But currently, this is my first game, like my first game ever being developed, and I want to make sure that it is as good for you guys as I can possibly make it. As thanks for your support, you guys really helped me out in the last few months. So, without further ado, I will show you what I have been working on this month, as well as some of the Patreon exclusive work. Feel free to subscribe to my Patreon or follow me on Buy Me a Coffee if you would like to see more of it. Those guys get the earliest footage. But this was the initial level. Looks like I have a tile to patch later on. Anyway, I'm going to switch tabs now to show you the main file space for this. So the level that you are currently looking at is actually the level that we were actually in-game. So this, I don't know if I showed this last time, but yep, this is the 2D view. RPG Maker is a very fun and very adaptive system that lets you play 2D or 3D. Who knows, I might make 2D levels. But just to show you guys the other maps which I've had in development. Let's see. Alright, this will be the second map, possibly the starting map. Please keep in mind that what I am showing you is not the final draft of the game, though I will very likely keep that fog of war void in the background, just because it like boosts the immersion. I'm like, oh my gosh, this actually feels kind of spooky actually. And I'm the one making this, so spook factor will probably go up because, as I was saying, you will very likely be playing as at least one monster. And that is the morning cycle, which I have not properly added yet. So the screen is now tinted because it's daytime. And eventually it should translate over to nighttime if I stay at this level long enough. But yeah, this is the current expanse. And I'd also like to show you guys some of the other levels. A lot of them are not fully developed since they're in the very new stage, but I'm going to show you guys them anyway because you deserve it. So, let's see. I'm going to switch it out from entity mode to this. So we have the destroyed lab. We have the biome, the previous level. I am not really looking to change this too much right now, primarily because this is the debug map, but you guys have already seen it. And I may or may not be adding a nuclear dome, and this one is colossal. So this would very likely be taking place in a post-apocalyptic world where nuclear radiation actually is fully worn away, and like future society literally just made these concave domes in a nuclear dome to make like different layers to show the impact it has on the environment. That is, once it's fully understood. But yeah, I'm currently planning to have the primary hull for the kaiju, the abandoned city that they destroyed, which is currently grass and wasteland. I might add a few toppled buildings, few underground pathways, sewage systems. Currently the beach, which I am going to very likely be very evil about if you first appear here. Probably going to throw a Leviathan at you, because I can. Just a heads up though, don't say I didn't warn you. So next we're going to have the area where the kaiju are locked up, a sort of pound, if you will, similar to a dog pound, as well as different areas. But for the most part, there isn't really much to these. I realize that I'm just showing you guys these screens, and to me, it looks humongous because I've been working on them. But to you guys, it looks very flat from this perspective. So I'm going to show you guys another one of the levels so that you can see. And before I do that, I am also going to let the music load a little. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yep, this is how it's going to go. If you did not see the previous title, I am planning on having a super massive kaiju, probably. I'm not going to clarify the size because good eldritch enemies do not have good detail. I mean, do not have too many details drawn to them. Just know that it's beyond everything that's like being portrayed right now in game. Except this pause menu. So, welcome to the pause menu. I managed to develop this. I have not found a way to properly exit the pause menu, but I am currently focusing on adding items, equipment, abilities, status, party members, and options. And something I was considering, I don't know if you guys would necessarily like this, but the idea interests me for the most part. I was thinking that with each character I would add, there could potentially be a different kind of gameplay style to them, and not by the normal sense of modern AAA game gameplay, because to be honest, that kind of sucks. What I mean by that is I was considering like, what if there's one character that plays like an RPG if you'd want, and then there's another character that plays like a first-person shooter, a third like a platformer, a fourth like a fighter. And I was just thinking like, games are cool enough when they have a character like these once, but what if there was a game that added all of these dynamically into one game? I've never really seen AAA titles do it before, and that's actually what interests me and what's tempting me to go and get it done. But for the most part, I'm going to show you guys the battle sprites from now on. Currently, I have 3 different sprite sections. I've got the battle sprites, I have the alien sprites, which will be in very serious development. In order to make this in order to make this properly good, I need to make sure that the aliens they actually look good, you know? Like, this is not the final draft, and I have no plan of it actually being the final draft. But yeah, I'm planning on like adding maybe a few more of these before I fully get it developed. Just like currently the slug idea is actually kind of getting old, so I decided that music's actually pretty loud. Okay, there we go. So I decided that I would potentially try adding different kinds of enemies, such as plants, animals, but instead of being typical animals, they're like aliens. It's a little hard to explain because the game is so early in the conceptual status, but what I'm primarily focusing on is there being different types of enemies and different variations. Personally, and I'm saying this personally as a gamer, I hate enemy variations. It just seems kind of lazy, and it's really kind of eaten away when different characters and different enemies have similar animations. So I want to design each character to have different animations, and I wanted to fit them equally. So these are some of the potential characters that will be in this game. I'm not really planning on having too many of these available off the bat. Currently, it's more like throw it at the wall. If it works, okay. If it doesn't, pick it up and take what works and apply it to the next one. But yeah, these are the current ones. A little bit League of Legends inspired. This guy might be the main character, because he's got the smallest hitbox and will very likely have the fastest movement speed. His sprite's also the easiest to animate, which means I will be finishing his character sprites first if I start working on them. So just a heads up about that. If you guys want to play as any of these other characters, you're welcome to suggest or recommend that in the comments below, though I will not guarantee it. Lugia-esque design here because I was inspired by Pokemon, but it's going to be pretty fun to me, hopefully, to design this. I've actually been wanting to make a video game like this for a long time. And when I first entered college, that was actually what I planned to do. I wanted to get a major in art and be able to design characters like this. But what I found in college is that even if they teach you something, they don't teach you how to get the audience and the clients. So, when I first got out of college, I had no idea what I would actually be doing. I'm going to switch this over to the next list so you guys can see what's there. But college did not teach me anything about game design and graphic design, and they actually go pretty hand in hand. So I appreciate you guys showing, well, so much appreciation and just contributing so much, because honestly, I don't intend for this to be a small project. There's one of the grapple animations that I will likely be adding. I should probably go now and add a grapple folder as well. Let's see, for grapple animations and whatnot. And as I start getting that done, I want you guys to know that you can go on Patreon for Affinity or the comments below or buy me a coffee and essentially just like recommend ideas. And if it's a popular idea, I will very likely add it as long as it's not political. This game will be taking place on like a futuristic post-apocalyptic version of Earth where all current politics are dead. So a heads up, if you're the kind of player who expects representation, please don't look for it here. I mean, no offense to you guys or anything, but it just doesn't match the aesthetic of what I'm going for. So anyway, I'm going to start copying this and pasting it over here. Okay, let's see. Yep, there we go. The next one is right here. So it's very likely that I will have to start creating different kinds of character models, such as, for lack of a better term, I will have to start creating character models that match different forms of combat, such as what you're currently looking at would be the RPG format of turn-based selection, but I might move the menu up here and make it face-to-face combat like Capcom or SNK, maybe take a few notes off of them. That is very early in the conceptual status because I do not know if RPG makers or developers are going to fully add those kinds of game mechanics yet. I think they actually already exist, and if they don't, a plugin will very likely be made that will allow it. But for the most part, this is actually primarily it. So thanks for watching, and I do plan on developing this later on, but for the time being, I have to focus on, well, finishing some art commissions for some of my audience. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. Your feedback is important, and it does matter, because it is going to partially influence how I develop this game. And for, well, that's basically it, honestly. So, thank you guys, and I hope you have a good day. See ya.